What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Sit Down Saturday. Today we're going to be talking about the Chug line, the main line. I got to set some rules and parameters for this because people have a tendency to get very sensitive. I've learned that more than most over the course of the past 5 years. So when I've gotten into conversation, and I do mean conversations, healthy discourse, that's what I'm about. I'm not talking about typing angry things or disrespecting people or degrading people or anything like that. Just conversations within the hobby. When I start to talk about why third party rose so quickly and became so successful, and I talk about the problems with the Hasbro main line, the Chug line, for those that don't know, Classics, Henkai, Universe, Generations. That's the acronym for Chug that people use. I still get comments like, what does Chug mean? And one of the common retorts that I would hear from them is that Chug is for the kids. And that's not true. That's not accurate. And if you believe that to be true, I think I can put it to bed on this video. Hasbro definitely makes toys in mind for children within the Transformers line. They're doing it right now. And most of that coincides with the Transformers fiction that they're also aiming directly at children to capture that age demographic between a 3-year gap in a 3-year series, which we talked about recently. So allow me to give you a little bit of evidence, and I didn't do much research. It's very limited, but allow me to give you a little bit of evidence of why I am telling you that the Generations line, the Chug line, whatever you want to call it, is indeed intended for collectors. And as my buddy Greg from Mercy says, children don't collect. Children put their toys in a bucket and then play with them as they want. Adults collect, and we're the ones that muddy the waters. And let me be clear, this video is not intended to attack Hasbro. I think that they're doing everything right in regard to how they're doing their products in terms of target market. This is about people that don't understand who their target market is. But if you look into these panels, they're easily accessible on YouTube from SDCC or BotCon or NYCC. You'll be able to find a ton more evidence. Two that I'm going to be using, SDCC and BotCon 2016. This is their panel for their Transformers line within the Hasbro brand. Actually, let's take a moment and just think about those two cons. BotCon, SDCC, actually let's throw NYCC in there as well. Why are they doing panels there? Who is attending those panels? 5 to 10-year-olds? Are they the ones? When I look around that room, it's not a lot of 5 to 10-year-olds. It's a lot of us, target market. There is constant reference to G1. There's constant reference to IDW. What children are buying Transformers because of G1? What children are buying Transformers because they're reading IDW? Probably none for the second, probably a few for the first, because adults that like Transformers are exposing G1 to them. But the large demographic that Hasbro is after, in that age bracket, that pocket is not watching G1, does not care about G1, and has no point of reference for G1. If they do care about Transformers, it's probably this stuff, or maybe a little bit of that stuff. At SDCC 2017, G1 Megatron co-hosts the panel. Not this Megatron. Who cares about that Megatron? Generally. 5 to 10-year-olds? Or us? Target market. Also at SDCC 2017, they revealed Beachcomber.
Next up for Legends Pass, we have our favorite geologist, Beachcomber.
Alright, real quick, time out. Are those woos from 5-year-olds? No. They're from us.
So it's very cool, close to the animation, awesome kid.
And it's cartoon accurate. Which cartoon? This cartoon that they have for children? No, this cartoon that they have for us. Target market. Do you remember when fans could vote for the most powerful bot in the universe for the Power of the Primes line? Do you remember who they voted for? Optimus Primal. Optimus Primal, big hit amongst the 5-year-old crowd? No, but he's a big hit amongst a lot of us. Target market. I remember when they revealed the new Rodimus Prime, and I remember thinking, like, look, they have Hot Rod, and Hot Rod can go to Rodimus. This is an obvious homage to G1. It's an obvious homage to Transformers 86, the movie. It's for us, and people are still saying it's for children. And the children were probably like, man, I hope it's movie accurate, and that's good because then the panel told them.
What's really exciting about this is finally fans are going to be able to evolve this character from Hot Rod up to Rodimus Prime. So the front of the vehicle actually removes. It becomes a very G1 1986 accurate version of Hot Rod.
I believe shortly before we get started talking about the Generations line at the BotCon panel, the host of the panel even says,
alright, so we'll have some fun now in Generations. I'm sure everyone's psyched. Anyone here a collector?
To thunderous applause. Because they're in touch with their target market. Let me give you another example. There was a Transformers Collectors Club. Let me say that again. Transformers Collectors Club. Collectors Club. Collectors. And you know what they sold in the Transformers Collectors Club? Chug. Because you know what Chug is for? Collectors. They've said it time and time again. They have products for children. They know what they're doing. But the Chug line is definitely intended for collectors. Now, with that evidence out of the way, and there's tons more, you can literally find them saying it. What's the problem with it? I'll tell you what the problem is. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a problem, but it's where the confusion lies, let's say. The product has to be built for a child because that's where it's sitting on the pegs. That's how they sell it to a store. So it has to be built with a child's safety in mind, built to the specs of the age appropriateness of that child, but it's built with the intention of you buying it. And that complicates things. Star Wars Black Series, Marvel Legends get away with it a lot cleaner and a lot easier, but they're also doing it a lot better. Hey baby, wanna come here? Is this the Apple TV clicker? Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you need to watch a show? Should we go watch a show? Okay. I'll be back. Now, where it does create a potential problem within the community and within the brand and for the company is that it left the door wide open for third party to come in and create a product that was for adult sensibilities along the same lines. Hasbro is not okay with the idea of licensing the brand out to another company that's going to make a transforming toy. Statues, fine. Lamps, fine. Transforming toys, not okay. But in the words of Ian Malcolm, life finds a way. And we got third party. And that stuff largely is considered to be the more collector-based product. But now you have that competing with the main line, both in terms of what people are buying and in terms of how the community and fandom sees it. And my point of view is that you shouldn't see them as competing forces anyway. However, most of us don't see that the same way. And when that discussion evolves, and the things that make the collector-grade third-party stuff that get mentioned, people fall back on it's built for children. But just an hour ago, somebody was at a panel saying, no, it was built for you. So what I'm saying is you can't have it both ways. It can't be a collector piece and compete with other collector pieces on the market at the same time when it suits you, and then when it doesn't compete or falls far short of any other piece on the market competing with it, you fall back on the crutch of it's intended for children. It's not. But one thing that's intended for children is Bolt, which I just watched, and it was delightful. But that's where the confusion sets in. Because the identity of the character, the aesthetic of the character, the gimmick of the character, the notion of the character is 100% aimed at the collector market. But the quality of the toy is aimed at a child. And because of all the, I'm guessing, moving pieces and lower price point comparatively to Black Series or Legends, we get a product that leaves a fair bit to be desired a good bit of the time. But that's not what this video is about. But it is why the barn door was left wide open for other companies to come and create a product with the same target market in mind, but built to their sensibility. Now, what I do find interesting, and I would like to pose to you, is this Studio series, which seems to be a bit more sophisticated. Not quite a masterpiece, but it doesn't seem to be in this pocket either. How would you feel about them doing more G1 style stuff in that Studio line? Or Fall of Cybertron stuff in that Studio line? Or IDW stuff in that Studio line? Even Beast Wars in that Studio line? Something that's built to a little higher spec, but brand-wise and franchise-wise is aimed at people that are in more of the collector pocket. Not that people don't collect the movie stuff, I know that they do. But I just can't stand the sight of it. But it's a personal preference. So I do think that the Studio line, in terms of what it can do, has a very tall ceiling. I'm not sure how they're going to utilize that, or if the movie stuff will allow it to continue, but I think it is time for Transformers to take the adult collector a little bit more seriously from Hasbro. And it's also time for the collector to recognize what they're being sold. I often feel like collectors are talking about these toys like they're seriously aimed at children, but they're just fortunate enough or they happen to be characters that children don't care about and adult collectors care about. It's not the case. They're aimed at you. They're built for them. And that's where the confusion lies. And it's not Hasbro's fault. This is their strategy. This is how it works. Introduce, engage, capture the long-term fan. What's going on with this guy? He doesn't look much like a Kid Mac. There's a number of contributing factors to why that is the way it is. Now, it is Hasbro's fault when something doesn't hold up under play. It is Hasbro's fault when it's not painted well. It is Hasbro's fault when there's all sorts of hollowness. It is Hasbro's fault when it doesn't make sense. It is Hasbro's fault when they milk a mold. That is Hasbro's fault. But maybe we'll see a change in that in the future with a little higher grade stuff aimed and built for an adult audience. Kids don't care who Dreadwing is. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.